Hello, so today we're going to do Unit 2, Day 5 notes, which is determining if an order pair is a solution to a linear function. So basically, what we need to understand is that we're going to input an x and out comes a y. And we're trying to determine if that output, the y, is the same y the problem is giving us. If it is the same y, then the answer will be yes, that the order pair is a solution to the function. But if we end up getting a different y, then the answer is going to be no. It's not a solution. So basically, this is just in practice problems to allow us to better understand the concept of whether something is a working machine and not working machine. So like the idea behind the machine that I was talking about, okay? So let's start off by rewriting the equation that they're giving me, which is y equals 2x plus 1. So this is the machine I'm going to be using. Now they're telling me if I were to plug in 2, because that's my x, that is my input, then I should get y as my output, which is 5. So they're saying if I plug in 2 into this equation, if I do the math correct, then I should get 5 as my output. That is what they're saying. So let's go ahead and try that and see if it's true. So remember, this is your x, so your x has to go in there. So anytime you see an x, replace that with a parentheses, and instead of parentheses, you know that I'm going to put the number 2 for my input because that's what goes in. Okay? So, in goes the x. Now I'm going to do some multiplication I'm adding. So 2 times 2 is 4. Okay? And then 4 plus 1 is 5. So out comes my y as 5. Is that what they said my outcome was? Yes. They said that if I were to plug in 2, my result was going to be 5. So is this order pair a solution to the function? Yes, it is. Okay. Question number 2, or example number 2. Same idea, same type of question. If I were to plug in that order pair, it will be a solution to that equation. Okay, well, let's go ahead and try it. So my equation is 3x minus 2, and my order pair is -3, -11. So my input, also known as my x, is the 3, and my y, or my output, will be -11. So let's try this. We're saying that if we plug in this x into this equation, that we're supposed to get -11. Well, let's see if that's true. Well, I know that the input is -3. So that means it will go here where the x was at. So that will be -3. So let's do some multiplication. 3 times -3 is -9. And -9 minus 2 is -11. So yes, my result did come out to be a -11. My y is -11, and which is the output. So yes, this is a solution to the function. Okay, next, example 3. Is the order pair 2, -5 a solution to the equation? Well, let's find out. So you know that your equation is -8x plus 7. Now you also know that your order pair is 2, -5. So the input, also known as the x, is 2. And the output, which is known as the y, is -5. So if I were to plug in 2 into this equation, my answer, or my result, also known as the output, should be -5. Well, let's see if that is true. So instead of an x, I'm going to put parentheses. And inside of those parentheses, I'm going to put the number 2 because that is my input. Okay, that is my x value. So -8 times 2 is -16. Plus 7 will equal my y. So y equals -16 plus 7 should be -9. Wait a minute. I got -9. But it said that if I were to plug in 2, I was supposed to get -5, and I didn't. So that means this order pair that they told me is not a solution. So it's not a solution to that equation. Okay? Because the output actually is -9. Okay, example 4. Is the ordered pair 315 a solution to the equation? Well, I don't know. Let's try this. So you know that the x is 3 and the y is 15. So my input is 3 and my output is 15. Okay? So if I were to plug in the 3 into this equation, instead of an x, I'm going to put a 3. Okay, so 3 minus 9 comes out to be -6. Well, they said my output was supposed to be 15. I got -6. So this is not a solution to that equation. Okay, moving on. So the last example we have on today's notes is an example from SchoolNet. So it says, which order pair is a solution to the function y equals 1/3 x minus 5? Now I'm going to have to determine which of these is a solution to that. 3 of these are not. So let's start with A. I know this is my x and this is my y. So I know that I'm going to have to input -5 into the equation, and I'm supposed to get 3 according to answer choice A. If it is 3 as the result, then that's my answer. If it's not, it's not my answer. So let's try this. Y equals 1/3. Instead of an x, I'm going to put parentheses, -5. And of course, in those parentheses, I'm going to put in my input, or my x, which is -5. So 1/3 times -5 minus 5. Now, of course, you could try and do this in your head, but I would just recommend that you go ahead and use a calculator. So we're going to do 1 divided by 3, parentheses, -5, parentheses, minus 5. Click enter, and you end up getting -6.6666 repeating. Okay, so obviously that is not the solution. That solution is not for that equation, because they told me I was supposed to get 3. I got -6.667. Okay, let's move on. Now let's try answer choice B. If we input the -4, we should get 3 according to that answer choice. So let's see, y equals 1/3, parentheses, -5. So in the previous problem, we put in -5 because that was the input. Now in this answer choice, our input is -4, so -4 would go in the parentheses instead. And of course, let's do some multiplying and some subtracting. And if my answer comes out to be 3, that is my answer. If my result is not 3, then that is not my answer. So let's try this. 1 divided by 3, parentheses, -4, parentheses, -5. Click enter, and I get -6.333 repeating. Obviously, that is not your answer. That order pair is not a solution to that equation. Let's keep on moving. So for the next answer choice, I'm going to take this 3, because that's my input, and input it into my equation and see if I get -5 as my result. So y equals 1/3, parentheses, -5. Now in those parentheses, I'm going to put in my input, my x value. So my x is 3. And now I'm going to do some multiplication and some subtraction, and my result, if that is a solution, should be -5. If it's not a solution, it's going to be something random. So 1 divided by 3, parentheses, 3, parentheses, -5. Enter. I got -4. So obviously, that is not the answer. Now, as you can tell, the answer is clearly C, because if we input 3 into the equation, which we did, you're supposed to get -4, which we did. So that means it's clear that the answer is D. That is the solution. That is a solution to that equation. Okay? Of course, if you have any further questions on today's lesson, please do not hesitate to ask me in class the next day.